This is WFMZ TV.
He was a firebug, but now it's all over. He's pleaded guilty, and now he's heading for prison. A tale of arson and endangered lives. Next on 69 News at 5.
A scare in the air. Fighter jets escort an airliner to a U.S. airport because of what a passenger did in flight. We'll have the latest.
I'm Mike Lowe in Easton. City officials here have big plans for old industrial sites. Coming up, we'll tell you why some along the Bushkill Creek are on the fast track.
Plus, Troy with sports and Mark with your forecast. And there is breaking news of an arrest in the JonBenet Ramsey case. Good evening, I'm Wendy Davis.
And I'm Rob Vaughn. The news at 5 starts now.
Watched by more people in the region than any Philadelphia or New York broadcast. This is 69 News Live at 5.
The Northampton County District Attorney calls him a serial arsonist and a danger to society.
Today, 40-year-old Russell Dorney pleaded guilty to 3 fires that caused $500,000 in damage. WFMZ's Jaccii Farris is live in Bethlehem with more on our top story. Jaccii.
Well, the district attorney says Russell Dorney's name came up in dozens of arson investigations in Lehigh and Northampton counties, but there was only enough evidence to charge him with 3 fires. Just the same, the Northampton County District Attorney says he's going to try to make sure Russell Dorney spends the rest of his life in prison. Now, one of Dorney's alleged victims, the owner of the New Street Pub, say they're convinced Dorney definitely needs help.
There used to be a curtain here. Now we have blinds, and this is where he set fire to the bathroom, and the curtains just went up in flames. The ceiling caught on fire.
9 months and several $1,000s later, the only reminder Russell Dorney allegedly started a fire at the New Street Pub is a scorch mark on the floor. Owner George Muchlas says Dorney used to live in room 15 above the bar and was caught on video surveillance, leaving the bathroom seconds before it caught on fire.
He put a lot of people's lives in danger, and, thankfully nobody was hurt. So, I think my biggest question would be why.
Dorney pleaded guilty to starting the pub fire, as well as blazes that gutted the Bath Hotel and a Northampton County mobile home. How would you classify Mr. Dorney?
Dangerous. Dangerous to the community. Certainly a pattern of arson. We know there are 2 prior convictions out of Lehigh County for the same sort of thing. And these 3 would put it to the 5 arsons that we're aware of. And that's a serious threat to the community.
Second Assistant District Attorney Bill Matt says Dorney faces up to 60 years in prison, but he will ask for a life sentence. Dorney's attorney says he's not sure his client is aware of what's happening. Psychological tests have been ordered prior to sentencing.
There was a preliminary evaluation conducted, and that did indicate that there might be some mild retardation. But beyond that, I'm not quite sure.
Dorney is being held at the Northampton County Prison. He's scheduled to be sentenced Friday, October 13th. In Bethlehem, Jaccii Farris, 69 News.
All right, thank you, Jaccii. 2 of 3 men accused of setting fire to cars at a Northampton County dealership have pleaded guilty. Kenneth Mackies and Daniel Lane pleaded guilty to 2 counts of arson for the fires at the Brown Daub Ford dealership in Lower Nazareth Township. It happened in January of this year. Trial is underway for a 3rd suspect in this case, Louis Trompoche.
Police in Allentown are looking for a robber who held up a convenience store at knife point. It happened at the Exxon Mini Mart in the 900 block of North 4th Street. Police tell us the robber confronted an employee with a knife and demanded money. Anyone with information is asked to call the Allentown Crime Tip Line at 610-439-5911. Meanwhile, APD has made another quick arrest in another robbery and stabbing in the city. Police say 43-year-old Daryl McKinney left a Rite Aid on Hamilton Street yesterday afternoon without paying for merchandise. He was with his 2 young children at the time when 2 security guards caught up with McKinney a few blocks away. Police say he stabbed them with a screwdriver. Neither was seriously hurt. His kids were released to their mother.
I have some breaking news now out of Colorado. There is an apparent break in the murder of JonBenet Ramsey. Remember her? She's the 6-year-old girl who was found beaten and strangled in the basement of her home in Boulder in 1996. U.S. law enforcement officials say a man arrested on unrelated sex charges in Thailand this morning is now being held in connection with JonBenet's murder. One of our CNN affiliate stations in Denver, KUSA-TV, is reporting that the suspect has confessed to certain elements of the crime that the general public doesn't know. Law enforcement officials are now on their way to Thailand to bring this suspect back to the U.S. Again, the breaking news here, an arrest in the murder of JonBenet Ramsey. Authorities are blaming a claustrophobic woman for a major scare on a plane in the air today. A woman on a flight from London to Washington, I should say, apparently became disruptive and got into a confrontation with other passengers. It was first reported that the woman had suspicious items like Vaseline, a screwdriver, and a note mentioning Al-Qaeda. Well, the plane was diverted and escorted by fighter jets to Boston. All 182 passengers had to get off the plane on the runway, and bomb-sniffing dogs, as you see here, were called in to check every bag. It turns out the woman didn't have any of those things. She was just claustrophobic and got upset.
Please don't give up, Melissa. Please do not give up. Oh, my God.
New chilling sounds from the terror attacks in New York on September 11th, 2001. This newly discovered call to 911 was made by a woman named Melissa, who was in the World Trade Center at the time of the attack. She never made it out of the tower. On other tapes released today, you could hear for the first time the voices of firefighters who rushed to the scene.
Well, don't look now, but the look of Easton is in for a major makeover. In fact, by next year this time, some areas could already have undergone some big transformations. Pennsylvania's top environmental official visited sites along the Bushkill Creek, targeted as top priority for redevelopment. And WFMZ's Mike Lowe has more.
Pennsylvania's governor has already pledged $9 million to help redevelop old industrial sites along the Bushkill corridor in Easton. The Secretary of the Department of Environmental Protection brought another message from the governor.
He's calling on us to put this project at the top of our list, to move the paperwork and to get that work done in at least half the time.
So sites like this one along the Bushkill Creek have moved to the top of the heap for review and approval by the state's environmental officials. Kathleen McGinty promises it will be done in record time, clearing the way for improvement.
What we're seeing here is housing, retail, commercial properties.
The project would have three distinct segments. Industrial sites near 13th Street would be cleaned up and redeveloped as commercial and residential property. Second, a recreational trail would be built for biking and jogging along the creek. And finally, the buildings on North 3rd Street near Lafayette College would be redeveloped.
We'll see at least one, maybe three buildings restored with people living here, eating here, coming here for the arts, enjoying passive recreation along the creek, a cleaned up creek bed. It's just going to be fantastic. It's a community-changing project.
Environmental assessments are underway, and officials say they'll select a master developer by October. That developer will put together a plan over the winter, and construction should begin in about a year.
Hopefully in the spring, summer of 2007, there'll be some actual dirt flying.
Mike Lowe reporting. Lafayette College is a major partner in this project, and officials say it will redevelop an area at the base of College Hill.
Well, let's check on the evening commute now. We're going to go to Rick Edwards. He's over in the 69 East Traffic Center.
Thanks, Wendy. Good afternoon, everyone. Looks like a smooth ride this afternoon around the Lehigh Valley. Moderate volumes at best on Route 22 in both directions. Not too bad here at 15th Street. Having a little trouble merging out there. Come on, come on, come on. And we have no problems here at the 378 overpass. The spur route looks good down into Bethlehem. A little crowded on the Hill-to-Hill Bridge. Well, that's usual business for this time of the afternoon. 78 looks good here at the merge with 309 and 145. No accidents to report on the majors. A couple of accidents in the clearing stages. A motorcycle accident on 512 in Bath, just south of Barral Avenue. Traffic should be back to normal there shortly. Also an accident wrapping up on the 2800 block of Emmaus Avenue in Allentown. The long commute, no problems in and out of New Jersey. Northwestern New Jersey looks good, and all the daytime construction has been wrapped up on the Turnpike. It's a smooth ride on the Northeast Extension. Please buckle up and drive safely. I'm Rick Edwards, 69 News Traffic.
Thank you, Rick. The number of people traveling in and out of Lehigh Valley International Airport is down. In the airport's monthly traffic report, it shows the number of passengers in July is the lowest since 2002, down 9.2%. Overall, traffic is 6% lower than last year at this time. The number of people using Continental and Northwest Airlines was down last month, but the figures were up for U.S. Airways, United Express, and Delta Connection.
Well, there is much more to come on 69 News tonight.
A bizarre and unthinkable crime in New York. The victims' kittens. Hear what happened to them next.
Plus, President Bush is in our area right now, stumping for Lynn Swann. We'll have more on his visit and how Swann is stacking up to Rendell in the polls.
And some creativity and many hours of painting go a long way. We'll show you coming up. First, Mark Schanneberger has a preview of the forecast. Mark?
Yeah, it was another great day out there today. How many more great days do we get? The details.